Hello, welcome back to Matchday Live, where, as you can see, we've had a bit of squad rotation. Michael Owen joins us. Don Hutchinson's off to do Goal Rush commentary. Mo, it's great to see you. Merry Christmas.
Yes.
Did you have a good one?
A fantastic one, thank you very much. Yeah, great to be back. Obviously, the World Cup interrupting our season, but it is great to be back. And yeah, not a bad game to start off.
I know, it's great to have you back as well. And as you said, not a bad game, especially in that second half. Let's look at the second half, shall we? And start with the goal that took it to 2-0. This was a mistake, though, from Eric Dyer, was it not?
Yeah, I think you could call this a mistake, Seaman. What's he thinking there, Mo?
Well, that's like me on the first tee of the golf course, that one, shanking it. Awful, isn't it? I mean, really is, at this level. You know, you're putting yourself under undue pressure and eventually it results in a goal. So, you know, you've got to go back to things like that. You've got to improve those little details if you're going to stop shipping goals. Yeah,
absolutely. And then let's have a look at the 2-0 goal. Have a look at this. Owen, talk us through this.
Well, it's just a near-post flick, and often I've played with players where they say if you win the near-post flick there, and Norgard does that here, and Tony's got a free header at the back post, and Longley, he leaves the position where he was. If he just stays where he was, he probably clears that. But that near-post flick causes chaos, and simple tapping for even Tony. But to be fair, up to that point, Brentford were by far the better side, and they deserved that 2-goal lead.
Yeah, and we were saying, Mo, that it just felt very familiar in terms of the way Brentford were in control and Tottenham weren't. But then Harry Kane struck.
This is stunning. I love this goal. Harry Kane gets up early, he's strong, heads it back where it comes from. Yeah, it's a lovely little ball as well. We see Brentford are in that type of shape that they leave the fullbacks in many ways, don't they?
Yeah.
To have the ball. But that is just top centre-forward play. Jumps early, strong, heads it back. Oh, I just love that goal. Love it.
He's now actually scored against every team he's faced in the Premier League, and he's the all-time top goal scorer on Boxing Day in Premier League history.
Where's your name on that list? You're not me on all these lists.
I was still full of turkey. I didn't really perform on Boxing Day.
But you're happy for Kane, given how the World Cup unfolded for him, that he's come back and he's managed to get on the score sheet?
I am.
He did, didn't he?
Yeah, I am, but I don't even think it'll affect someone like Harry Kane. Of course, no one wants that in their career. I would have hated it to miss a penalty that you know, cost your team, let's say. But that's his role. That's his game. I mean, he's you know, he scores more times than he doesn't, and he's been, you know, the shining light for England and Tottenham for years and years. So I think he'll brush that off easily. He's experienced. He knows the game. That happens, and you do miss penalties. So I think the last person I'd be worried about really is Harry Kane, and he's just gone and bounced back and shown that he's not so bothered.
And then, Owen, they did bounce back, didn't they? Because they backed that up with a second goal.
Well, we said they would. I mean, Højbjerg was brilliant. You know, he plays the ball into Harry Kane. He plays it in. Kulusevski, we said he can make the difference there. Doherty was always on the overlap there. That's a great little pairing. And Højbjerg just drops off. OK, he gets really lucky, takes a huge deflection. But keep an eye on Højbjerg here. I'm just going to highlight him in a second. Once Kulusevski plays the ball wide to Doherty, Højbjerg is just inside that pack there, checks his shoulder, drops off. There's space there. He realised that. And Brentford have defended so well. You know, the defenders run back to the goal there. But that's a great finish, Mo.
Yeah, and his decision-making, you know, in the box, you don't get much time. But he realised he had a little bit more time than you normally would to take that touch. And it was a lovely touch. And he's not a bad finisher, this lad, when he gets into the box.
Well, as you can see, points won from losing positions is now 14 for Spurs. The story was familiar, and that's for sure. And, of course, later on, Harry Kane could have won it, couldn't he? Came close, hit the bar.
Mo, he's just brilliant in the air, isn't he, Harry Kane?
He is. He's brilliant in the air, but you know what? It helps that he's absolutely massive as well. I remember going to interview him not so long ago and being surprised in real life how big he is. He's a monster. He's massive. And we saw how strong he was for the first one. This is a penalty appeal now, and that could have gone either way as well. I agree with VAR. If you're not going to give it on, you know, at first glimpse, then is it a clear and obvious? They've left that one alone, but I think it could have been a penalty.
Easily a penalty. Yeah. I mean, that's at 1-0. You know, they go and score the second goal, I think, a couple of minutes later. So I think, obviously, if they would have given a penalty, they wouldn't have overturned it with VAR. And that's the thing. Whatever the on-field decision is, they often stay with it. I think it could have easily been a penalty.
Right. Well, that's 1 down, 6 games to go. And